During the NAIC, I hosted a bunch of friends to come together and play some Pokemon. I thought this would be a great chance to get some practice in for Yokohama whilst also watching a fantastic live stream across the weekend, and we thought what better way to challenge ourselves and have a bit of fun was going to be having a double elimination bracket running as the tournament was going on. So we pitted together what we thought were the 7 best decks at the time, as well as throwing in United Wings, which have been doing well on day 1 of the NAIC stream, to fight it out against each other for a mystery prize. Now, I will say that this was a party atmosphere. There probably are going to be some mistakes on some of these streams. We were also, watching the stream along, having a good time, and probably not putting our all into some of these games. So if there are going to be mistakes, I'm going to try and highlight them in commentary, but it's just going to be one of those things. This isn't necessarily the highest standard of play. It's just something we did for fun over the weekend. Cube Koga is always in the link in the description below, where I will be trying to have even more up-to-date lists than the ones possibly even played in these tournaments. So that's always the best place to check out our lists. Now let's get into some games. So here we are. We are coming to the end of the losers bracket. Tamal's just been pushed down here, losing to Lost Zone Giratina. Jono's fought his way through the losers side of the bracket with this Chien Pao deck. Tamal's going to kick things off with a Comfey start and has that instant flower selecting. I think there's a difficult choice. I think it's Hisuian and Raikou. Obviously, he hasn't been able to search the deck just yet, but we can see the Forest Seal Stone in Tamal's hand. So you got to think he's going to want to keep the Raikou here, just to unlock the hand a little bit. Has the potential to Forest Seal Stone, VIP. Could be going with, early Greninja. Could be going with early retreats into other Comfeys. But actually just chooses to attach and pass, possibly holding on to a few options. I know there's Boss's Orders in the hand. And, there's no need to rush to 7 if you just turn attach the Raikou now and turn attach again next turn and try and Boss's Orders Frigibax or something like that. So it's a bit of a sneaky play. Obviously, Jono knows that his hand's not terrible if he's willing to not Forest Seal Stone, but it definitely makes you wonder. Jono's going to be able to get a couple waters in his discard pile, which is nice. Searches out a Luminion for Irida here. So can go a little bit wider on this board. It's going to grab a Palkia V from the Irida, as well as looks like Rare Candy. So not a bad start for him. He's able to start threatening some attackers of his own. I believe there's a Chien Pao already in the hand, which is why we weren't seeing any VIP shenanigans from him either. Palkia comes down, and then it's just a pass over to Tamal, who, yeah, I think he is holding on to Boss's Orders. He might just be thinking about whether he can... Ooh, Switch Cart's a big pickup. I think now he could gust either Frigibax or the Palkia and be aggressive. He could Forest Seal Stone for the Lightning. But now we're seeing the Colress. It makes me think possibly, well, definitely with the Cram pickup, he might just be happy going through the Manaphy this turn. This gets him to 4, so we can have a pretty easy ride of just taking a knockout on Manaphy, threatening Greninja from then on, really. With the way he's played out this turn, it makes me really question not going for the Forest Seal Stone on turn 1. Because you could have had this basically same setup last turn and seen more cards through your deck. And it seemed like a decent time to attach Gust, honestly. And Forest Seal Stone just to hit a piece, hit your Lightning Energy, right? Either way, it's going to be a Spit Innocently from Tamal. Looks like he actually did prize his Dragonite. He was able to take that from prize cards, so that's kind of nice. We do go over to Jono. Tamal was able to develop the Manaphy, but Jono's still going into the Greninja first here. Does he have much going on? We know he took the Candy last turn. We have a Superior, so possibly Jono looking for some draws from this concealed cards to get him into better shape. Yeah, we see Candy backs, but I just see Energy and Cross Switcher, I think. Just one copy of Cross Switcher. Not ideal for him. Not sure if there's any supporter in hand. It's going to be an Energy to Luminion. Just a pass. Okay. That is rough. Tamao definitely has a decision on his hands. He's holding on to boss, so could just go boss Frigibax. Could even boss's orders the Palkia now as well. Yep, now we are going to see the Forest Seal Stone for lightning. And because we've got into the Raikou, we know that Tamao's going after Palkia here, right? Otherwise, he could have just cram-bossed the Frigibax. So it's the play that I was thinking on turn 2. Tamao's going to jump ahead. It looks like Jono really is hoping to get more draws from this Greninja. Nothing coming. Superior Energy Retrieval and Bib Barrel. That is woeful. That really isn't great. Does go for Candy Backs now, so is possibly trying to get a prod in with Luminion. The 120 does set you up for a Greninja hit next turn, I suppose. It's going to be that superior. Gets rid of Bib Barrel. So he's just prepping some energy. Okay, he needs the energy just to be able to launch this attack here. It's really not great, though. Passing back over to Tamao, he's able to fleet-footed to start things off. His board is a little bit clogged, though. But I think he's still pretty happy just leaving, you know, getting rid of Jono's only draw power. He's been drawing nothing and using concealed cards every single turn so far. So I think just knocking out Radiant Greninja's completely fine here. Possibly find a use for this vacuum before you start taking more prizes so you don't fall prey to a Iono top deck. Tamao's now at 6 cards. Vacuum plus like getting rid of a dead card on your Forest Seal Stone would get you to 7. And then maybe you could prep some gates even onto Comphase or whatever for retreating plays. Does he even have any clog in his hand? His hand looks pretty good, honestly. You can possibly toss a Sableye. Looks like a rope might be his choice. Oh, the Pal Pad. Yeah, that seems like a good choice. Does he prep any gates? No, he's just going to go for the swing. He's holding on to Dragonite, so that's why he's holding on to gate. And Jono has absolutely nothing. So a pretty bad brick there for Chien Pao. That's the end of its run. It's been kind of bricky this whole time, but it was still getting the job done in a few of these rounds. So Tamao is going to have to make it back up against the Lost Zone Giratina. Let's see if he can find a different outcome this time around.